QE is coming to the markets. If you know where to look for it, people are still bearish. Some people don't think QE can happen, and therefore alts cannot pump to the rocket to the moon because they're looking for the Federal Reserve to QE. But essentially, I'm telling you guys, two other forms of QE is coming to the market. QE meaning, of course, quantitative easing, and that means anytime when the US government or when some large body, such as the Federal Reserve, is printing US dollars, right? That's the big bull market in altcoins, in Bitcoin we had in 2021, and we're about to get it again sometime very soon. But it's not from the Federal Reserve. It's not from the Federal Reserve. It's from two other surprising institutions that I'm about to tell you guys, right? It's basically, the definition for me is anytime when you create magically money or US dollars out of thin air. And but before we get on to QE and quantitative easing and money printing, let's first look at Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin, the latest chart before we get on to where it is headed in the medium term, or the next few weeks. For the next few days, I've been saying this. Basically, Bitcoin bounced off this 34K area, right? My target was always 33K. We got very, very close, right? This was a supporting trend line. I said top side, probably pull back around 112, 113K. We hit 112 and we turned down. And then my saying has been that funding rate has been very green and still very green even today. Funding rate being green for the new audience means basically it's a lot more shorts than people who are going long. And therefore, we're going to see the exchanges unwilling to let prices go down. Because if prices go down, then all the shorts win, and exchanges would lose a lot. So basically, the drops have been limited so far. I've been saying I don't think we see it like one of those 10% drop flushes unless the funding rate changes dramatically. So right now we've only seen like a 4.5% pullback, not even. And then I said 10% would be something like 101K from 12K at the top. And I don't think it gets down below 101K or 100K area. So far we're just here. So the scenario I've got in mind is I think we get like some sort of bounce to 112, 113K before I have another crack downwards. And it's probably a very limited pullback. We might do 113, 112 before we break the line, then break the line on the way down. Or we break this line and everyone panics, and then goes to 113K, something 112, something like this, and then we go down. And when I say go down, not a big drop. Something like 101, 100K would be the bottom. Could easily not get there. Something like this and then go up because we got so many greens. What we need to see for a big drop is if this goes red. If this goes red and then price goes to 112, 113K, then we could see a big drop, like down to the 90s. So once again, I'll reiterate, I think we're gonna break this trend line in red sometime probably this week. And before or after we break it, I think there's a move to something like 112, 113K, get everyone to go bullish again, to squeeze out all the shorts, get everyone to go bullish, right? Bullish and go red, make some of this go red, get everyone to go bullish, and then they take out the longs by going down like this, right? And depending on how red we go, I still don't think we break this 100K, 101K area. Most likely we get to about 105, 104, and then headed for new all-time highs. Okay, so now let's talk about the two QE sessions, right? What is the QE or printing of money that I'm talking about? Before I answer that question, first let's answer the question of which crypto exchange does Pablo He-Man use? Well, Pablo uses this exchange that's non-KYC. That means you don't need to show any ID. That means, of course, Americans can use it because they can't even see who you are. So this is my link with Bitunix. Just by depositing, receive up to $200 and trade win up to $35,000. But for a limited time only, this finishes on June the 4th, right? Chance to win a Tesla Model 3, Rolex watch, Apple Vision Pro, Sony, all these great prizes. And yeah, so if you're watching this on YouTube, then the link is in the description below. But if you're watching this on any other platform, such as this one, then basically just click to my profile page, and here is my link tree, Stan link, right? Click on that and it should be the first deal that pops up. Okay, let's get back to the markets. First deal that pops up because this is a great deal. But keep in mind, folks, only on the Pablo Heman link. Okay, so basically the two QE events. I've spoken about one of them, but I'm now going to speak about the second one. First one is basically Trump passing this Genius Act. It's literally called the Genius Act. It's about stablecoins. It's basically just means that all the transactions that Americans do with their MasterCard, Visa card, Wells Fargo, Citibank, these transfers can now be done on the stablecoin. And they do it because stablecoins literally have to hold these US Treasury bonds. It's to buy the US Treasury bonds. But once everyone's got stablecoins on their phones, imagine a boomer, imagine some 50-year-old, 60-year-old dude who's got a phone and he doesn't know anything about Bitcoin. He's heard about it, but he's not interested in buying. He's heard about Solana, crazy memes, but now he's got all these stable coins on there. So that's like casino giving you an online casino giving you casino chips. He's got the casino chips, and then in the same crypto wallet, they're going to say, hey, buy some Bitcoin here, buy Ethereum here, buy the latest hot Solana meme here. This thing's going to the moon, sure to retire you. You know what they say. Like this new coin called Elon's Jizz, buy Elon's Jizz, whatever. I've already spoken about that. That's QE number one. And QE number two, I've hinted at it, but this is actually QE as well, because stable coins is basically printing money out of thin air, because you are taking, say for example, if you buy $1,000 of stable coins, your $1,000 becomes $1,000 in stable coins, but they also take that actual $1,000 and buy US Treasury bonds. But you also have $1,000 to go and buy Bitcoin. Do you see what I mean? So that becomes $1,000 becomes $2,000. That same $1,000 now becomes $2,000. So it's creating money out of thin air. Okay, now let's talk about the second QE event. I hinted at this before and announced this morning, or like 12 hours ago, Trump is now going to raise 2.5, or some say $3 billion to buy Bitcoin. He's from his stock called DJT, Donald J. Trump, his own media company, right? And this, I think this is the wrong reaction. They should be going up 20% rather than going down 10%. Not because I'm a Bitcoin maxi, not because I'm a perma bull. But if you just look at the performance, of things like MicroStrategy, when they just become like a Bitcoin treasury, when they just start buying Bitcoins, then basically their stocks go up way more than Bitcoin. Like I've shown you guys this before in a video from last week. Bitcoin went up like 7x, 6x this bull run so far. And yet MicroStrategies went up like 45, 48x. It goes up a lot more than Bitcoin does. So if DJT is about to, this DJT company, Donald J. Trump's company, is about to become a Bitcoin treasury meaning you hold Bitcoin, then it should do very, very well. It should do much better than this. I've spoken about this phenomenon before. Now, why am I saying this is another form of QE? Because this is essentially new money that's coming into the crypto ecosystem, not just for Bitcoin, but also for altcoins as well. I've shown you guys for Ethereum and for Solana, they're also doing this strategy. The first one to do it is, of course, is MicroStrategy. Why is it called QE? Because they are selling their own shares. They're raising debt, money that's not there before, created out of financial engineering, right? It's basically MicroStrategy or DJT, Donald J. Trump's stock, promising to pay banks or hedge funds, lenders, $2.5 billion back in the future by borrowing $2.5 billion to buy crypto now, buy Bitcoin now. That's like QE for the crypto space, for Bitcoin space. So essentially, there are already so many copycats. Like, do you realize GameStop, that GameStop, the game company that's in the news all the time, they're buying $1.5 billion of Bitcoin. And there's like too many to name already. There's that Japanese company I showed you guys last time, MetaPlanet, they're copying MicroStrategy. They're buying a lot of Bitcoins as well. And then on top of that, there's another car company in Japan that started doing this as well. There's like 2 or 3 other companies in Canada, in America, starting to copy this strategy as well. Too many to name. There's already like 3 companies doing this, even for Solana. There's 3 of them. So for DJT, for Donald J. Trump, have a first. What the reason why I call this QE is when Trump starts doing this, it's not some Japanese company like MetaPlanet or some Japanese car company that you've never heard of. This is Donald J. Trump's company saying, I'm not even in the media business anymore. I don't even care about I don't even pretend I'm going to be in the media business anymore. I'm just going to be doing what MicroStrategy and Michael Saylor is doing, which is basically a Bitcoin treasury, a crypto treasury. I sell my own, I issue new shares, I dilute my own shares to buy more Bitcoin. I issue more debt, I take on more debt to buy more Bitcoin. That's how crazy it is. Anyways, a word of warning here, like I warned last time I spoke about this topic. This is putting on more leverage, so it looks very good on the way up, and it's going to look equally bad on the way down. The trick is to ride it on the way up and get the F out, not even at the top if you can time that, but get the F out whenever you can. And because on the way down, it's going to be terrible. That's the way I think. Some people would disagree with me, but that's the way I think. Because it's a double-edged sword. On the way up, it's a flywheel, self-reinforcing cycle on the way up. On the way down, it's also a flywheel, self-reinforcing cycle as well. People are going to panic sell on the way down, but that's probably in a few weeks or even a few months from now. Let's have a look at the few coins that I spoke about last time. So first, I don't think I even need to show you guys MicroStrategy. You know how well it's already done. MicroStrategy, I used MicroStrategy divided by Bitcoin. It's gone up like 9x more than Bitcoin has. So just looking at this bull run, it's gone from $13 to $542. That's like a 40-something X run. Okay, the other one, the Japanese copycat. Okay, this one's called MetaPlanet, and pretty much I think everyone saw my video when I was talking about it around $4 like 2 weeks ago, and then that exploded up 4x to $16, and now it's pulled back to around this $8 or $9 area. I think it could pull back to around like even this $5 area. If it does, I'll add more to it. These things are just explosive. Imagine if Bitcoin starts running to like 120K, 130, 140K, imagine where coins stocks like this could go. Now let's have a look at some of the Solana ones I spoke about as well. So one of them is called CYFRF. This is called Soul Strategies. It's been renamed to Soul Strategies. So it's basically gone from had a massive run, but had a massive run. I was talking about it a few weeks ago around this $2 area, and now it's at $2.50. So not much of a move from Soul Strategies because Solana has made, is nowhere near its all-time high like Bitcoin. But also it depends on how committed these companies are, how much debt they have. So not every one of them is going to be a winner, but I think this one can still do some big runs. I mean, even if we just look at where it came from. This is a logarithmic chart, but if we put it on regular, look at this. It came from 13 cents. When it announced, it jumped to $4. So this is the log chart. So another one we could look at is DFDV. That was spoken about in my video from 2 weeks ago as well. So DFDV again, and this is a log chart. Look how crazy this chart looks. So when I spoke about it, it was around this $12 area from 2 weeks ago. It jumped to $53. So that's what, like 4.5x run since then. And before it was at 66 cents. Now it's hit $55. So that's a 100x run. My goodness, that is 100x run. That's what these coins can do. And you know, if people watching my video from 2 weeks ago saw at least a 4.5x run since then. Okay, let's have a look at another one. UPXI is also, this was when they announced, this was the gap up. I was talking about it around here, around like $10, went up to 15 and pulled back. So we just have to follow the news of these companies to see what their strategies are for buying Solana. Are they going to be adding, how much more debt are they going to be adding to, like MetaStrategy, for example, MetaPlanet, for example, they have a very little debt. They're actually more healthier than some of these other companies that are trying this. So they don't have to issue a lot of debt to achieve a lot of growth in terms of Bitcoin holdings. And also when Solana season hasn't really started yet, when Solana season starts running, when Solana it gets above $200, $250, then we should see much more action in some of these stocks. Okay, thank you for tuning in, guys. Catch you next episode.